Putting time aside to sit in stillness with a clear as possible a mind that you can achieve is critical for your spiritual development. When we do this, we sit with spirit, but we also sit with our own spirit, our own spiritual body. Then we get to meet parts of ourselves from different perspectives in our day-to-day life, because we can deal with things with different perspectives. We come out of our thinking mind, which is very narrow, and into our spiritual existence, and it really does change the way that we live. And I think that changing the way that we live when we want to lead a spiritual life is so important. It's the most important thing. The spiritual branding of big industrial spiritualism business, that is not spiritual, that's business. Spirituality is changing the way you live, changing the way that you make decisions, changing the way that you treat yourself, changing the way that you treat other people, and sitting in the presence of spirit in order to spiritually develop. And this is not easy. And personally, I do not get an 100% hit on this. However, with the best will in the world, I am trying, and I'm seeing differences day by day, and I'm just really blessed for that. And I'm really thanking my guides and source, and yeah, just feeling blessed. And this is the thing about unconditional love. It is literally unconditional. There are no conditions. Someone hurts you, you have to love them. Someone loves you, you have to love them. Someone likes you, you have to love them. Someone dislikes you, you have to love them. Someone misrepresents you, you have to love them. That's it. That's it. Because as soon as we give in to the other side of this polarity, then it affects our spiritual development and our spiritual growth. And when there's a really popular book that some people might be aware of called the Bible, and there's a character in it called Jesus, and when he is being crucified, he says, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He wasn't saying they aren't realizing that they're murdering the Son of God. What he was saying was, these people do not have the spiritual consciousness to understand that this is wrong, and it not only hurts me, but it hurts themselves, it hurts the collective. It's a lack of consciousness, and therefore they cannot act in any other way but this way, right? It's a lack of consciousness. And that's an extreme example. However, I think we can also, as spiritual people, apply this to our own lives in small ways, and to understand that the way that people treat us is literally only, if someone treats you badly, remember that is the way that they treat the most vulnerable parts of themselves, and they're doing it because of a lack of spiritual consciousness. And we have to think about the times that we have done this to ourselves and to other people because of a lack of spiritual consciousness. And then this helps us operate from a position of unconditional love, right? Very difficult. The reason why we are receiving these experiences is because Spirit knows that spiritually we can handle them we can handle them and we can use it in order to grow. And therefore, to come back to my initial point, the growth that can happen in stillness when we are putting all of these things aside. I feel like this is unimportant because it's a pinprick on the life of our soul. It is so small and so insignificant. It's important for sure, but is it so important to spiritually compromise ourselves? It isn't. And so it leads me to my final point. This does not mean that we have to sacrifice ourselves for others. It doesn't mean that we need to accept it, but it does mean that we need to find a place to love someone, and we need to make sure that when we are, changing our own dysfunctional patterns where we're not treating ourselves with unconditional love, that those actions also come from a place of love.